Me, chat. Listen, you know no pixel addicting whenever Tommy is offline grinding.
Did you?
I don't know. Maybe I did.
Oh,
Jump
one
in,
last
Nino.
thing to show you. Quickly before you found that earlier too.
Oh.
I hate dogs. Get them out of here. Get those mutts out of here.
Mother.
I hate
watch
dogs.
out.
They're just ugly. They're just ugly cats. Get rid of
Call the
them.
police. This guy's just talking about shooting his dog.
Get rid of it. I'll shoot you in a minute.
You fucking shoot. Why the fuck
shoot
you gonna
that
shoot
dog
me?
or I'll shoot you. Shoot the dog or I'll shoot you. Shoot the dog right now.
Hutch, stop trying to mount us, man.
I'm a fucking
I just
dog.
want to mount Flippy, bro. He's just so good looking.
I don't even see him, so you won't be able to do anything.
Fucking
My friend.
Shit, let me
Look
move
who
over
it
a
is,
little
it's
bit, Nino.
Yo, yeah.
Hello.
All right.
I'm trying to kill them.
It's raw, baby.
What's going on, baby? What's going on? What's going on?
Alright, so, I mean, you know me, Hutch. I'm a fucking hustler.
Of course.
And, I used to be in crypto trading with Shungite a while back.
All right.
It's a mix of things. One, it would clean my cash, right? Because you would go buy Shungite with somebody from cash, you know, you get it a little bit cheaper, you flip it up a bit. So, with all the talk with, these last couple days about putting a minimum on G&E at 200, well, I started making some moves, and I realized that, well, it's easier to keep the price at 200 than I initially realized. Do you know what a market mover is? How you know, I'm trying to understand like how much you know about like market manipulation and that kind of thing.
I'm really big into Bitcoin and Ethereum outside the city.
Yes.
Like
really?
that is like
Okay.
I have probably like 90% of my net worth in crypto. So like I'm a huge crypto guy. I love it. I know all about China's the king of crypto, being able to make it go up and make it go down whenever the fuck they want. And I've done so much research on that. But to be able to do that, you have to own the majority or have the money to be able to manipulate that market. No?
Well, true and false.
All right, tell me.
You need to control the volume, right? The
Okay.
trade volume. So, so when you look at cryptocurrencies, you know, like how there's like, you know, you got the candlesticks or whatever, but then there's always at the bottom you got the volume.
Yeah.
Like it shows what the trading volume is.
Yeah.
That's how much is moving. That's how much is moving hand to hand.
Got
and
you.
the same can be said about commodities, cryptocurrencies.
Like a blockchain.
Not like a blockchain. So let me give you an example, right?
Okay.
Let's say there is a pizza shop.
Got it.
And, well, not a pizza shop, actually, that's a bad example. Let's say there's a mine, and that mine is producing 20 bricks of gold every day.
Okay.
And there's 1,000 bricks in circulation. Like, in other words, out in the world.
All right.
Well, and on day to day, people go in there and they go collect, like, you know, someone will go collect a brick and they'll go and sell it for like some price. Let's say like $1,000. Now, some people might buy it for a little less. Some people might buy it for a little more. But the thing is, well, even if someone owned a bunch, okay, actually,
Give
my
me
example's
1
starting
second.
yeah,
Eddie's calling me. Hey,
We're
what's
doing
going
all
on,
our
Eddie?
materials. Oh, Hutch.
What's going on, baby?
Hey, nothing much. So Tommy's about. I don't know if you want to
Yes.
show him the
absolutely.
spot or not.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me finish up this meeting with Nino, and then I'll give you a call. I'll give him a call.
All right. Perfect. Catch you in a bit.
All right, see you. All right, keep going. Sorry.
You know when you come up with an example and it makes sense at first, but then you start going down it and
And
you
it
realize
just-
this is a
you're
poor
bit-
example?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
Let me cut to the chase.
All right.
There's a lot of G&E in circulation. A lot of that G&E was originally produced, well, primarily, who knows where it comes from, but most of it is entered into Los Santos through racing. Shortly after boosting was introduced, it created a new means by which G&E entered into the market. And in many ways, it inflated the amount in circulation, thus causing the price to drop. There's other factors as well, with the tuna shop coming around the corner and people thinking you need a couple thousand G&E. That's kind of kept a bit of a floor on the market.
Yeah.
However, in order to make, you do not need, or I should say, we do not need to have the vast majority of G&E in order to raise the price. Now, while some of the races have been told that 200 should be the minimum, there are likely plenty of individuals that are going to be selling it for much less. And that puts an odd predicament onto even some of the races, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't speak on them. I don't know them well, but I can assume that just like everybody else, they're going to have car payments, they're going to have asset fees, they're going to need money. And if someone is bringing the price down, right?
It's
because
fucking
they're going
them.
and doing open races, whatever. Well, it's going to pull it down a bit, right?
Yep.
So how do we set it at 200? Well, I've already kind of tested this a bit. Is if there's races. So what I want to do is I want to create like almost like a
No, he's not involved
limited
yet.
individuals who are good at sales, like myself, who purchase from the races for a little less than 200 to accommodate, transaction time, etc. And then buy up motherfuckers shit that are trying to sell it cheap and push for 200, 210, 215.
Okay, so that's
And I've
actually
already been making those sales.
So a lot of people think that my idea with the whole benchmark for 200 G&E was because I want the G&E price to go up, which isn't that, right? A lot of people think it's funny, Buddha actually, whenever he hired me on with the MPA as the president, he was surprised that whenever I actually want to take something serious, I can flip that switch. But a lot of people don't understand about me, Nino, is 95% of the shit I do, or 95% of the shit I say, now, although I am an idiot, is as calculated as I could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say I kill a man every single day isn't because I actually do, which I do, but so whenever I do kill a person, the cops are so accustomed to me admitting to killing people that they don't even think twice about it. I just robbed an entire wedding and shot the fucking Pope, and the cops don't even give a shit about it. They just want me to go in and turn myself in so they can make money on my fine, which I won't do. But the reason I set the benchmark price for G&E at 200 isn't because I wanted the price to go up. It's because I know the price is going to go higher. And if the benchmark price is at 180, that means whenever it hits 200, people are going to be shocked. But if it's already at 200, the only place for it to go up is up. 225, 250.
Agreed.
So people like you is exactly what we're going to need to make sure that the price, especially at the shop, is an actual, there's actual reason behind it. Because now, whenever I buy for 200 and you buy for 215, 225, it's only going to make me make more money through the app.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Those who are producing, those who are doing the work, are making the most amount of money.
Exactly.
I mean,
so I've seen people who are advertising selling it below 200, and I've called them and I've basically been like, hey, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't sell it for 200. Now, if you see people who are scalping for prices, by God, fucking buy up every last bit of crypto you could possibly buy up, because again, I'd rather it be in your hands than some fuck's hands who races 13 races, gets 50 G&E and sells it for $1.25 because he's an idiot.
Yes. Well, so, and that's why I'm kind of thinking like, okay, if the decree coming down, so I want to be very transparent about why I'm getting into this, because I'll be honest with you, 95 people know I'm smart. I think I scare them because of that.
Yep.
But and I'm used to it. It's been the case for years. But my interest is I like the racing scene. I like the people involved in it. And if the price is 200, well, I can lend a hand and I can make it 200. I got time. I like sales. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I got enough capital, but I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I'm making like a percentage here, a percentage there. So that's where kind of the idea came up, right? I heard 200. I want to do good by you guys. So fuck it. I'm going to do my hand. So here's how I think it could work very well. If the racers who are down for this 200 thing, who believe in this message, this decree, coming down from the PM or the scene or whoever's making that call. If they give to this authority, right, whatever that authority is, it could be you, me, a few other people who know how to sell in sales pitch, not idiots.
Of course.
Idiots are gonna ruin it, right? They're gonna make it seem like sus when it shouldn't be. They sell at 170 to 200, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But never to an outsider. However, the sales guys who know what's on the up and up go and make sure it is selling for over 200. And what that does is it gives these races the peace of mind. They can move it immediately. They don't gotta go sell it themselves.
Let me stop
They
you
don't
there,
gotta worry.
Nino.
Okay.
I got a couple questions for you. All right.
Go for it.
Now, obviously, your boys is CB, right? That's your family, correct?
How do I put this? I don't like that.
Okay.
I'm not a yo boy, my boy kind of
Of
guy.
course.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm about personal.
Now, what if I were to bring you in on something that I only want out of you? Now, granted, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a hypocrite. If you were to bring me in on something, I would 100%. There's a big chance that if my boys came up to me and it was them asking me a question, I'm not going to lie to them. Now, what I'm going to be asking from you is going to be not to lie to them, but just to keep something from them. Now, if that's something that you can do, and it's not going to be harmful or anything like that, it's not going to be anything that you've ever seen before, but if I brought you in on something, it would have to be just you, only you, and that is it. Never talked about, never brought out of this conversation unless it's within the people that is inside of what I'm about to bring you in on. Now, if I can ask that from you as a man, could you give me your word that you would be able to keep that?
Luckily, I've been down this path before, and what I've is they will respect it, and they better.
Okay. All right. Because I'm going to be honest. It's one of these things where what this is it's one of the, how do I say this? It is something within the city that has never been in the city, and it's very close to the chest for myself because it's kind of my first ever child within the city when it comes to business. Now, you've been a businessman for a long time. You've been in multiple businesses back in the old and in the new city. And you have experience with pretty much everything. Guys, put it in emote only.
No, you're not wrong about that.
And I see that you are in the race scene. And my question for you is how long is that going to last? Is this something that you see yourself being a big part of if you're given the opportunity? Because I'm going to be honest, and you see it as just as much as me. The racing scene right now is the most serious scene in the city. Bigger than, or more serious than any drugs, any guns, any banks, anything that's in the city right now. The racing scene exceeds that by about tenfold. I think we can both agree with that.
I would agree.
It's also the most lucrative business in the city.
I'm a man that I'm just gonna be blunt with you. I've helped out with probably 80% of the businesses in the city, and I don't like even the VU. The thing is a management nightmare, and I have not dipped out. I make sure managers go down there, right? If I get involved, I don't let the thing bleed. I mean, you talk to Kay, there's a reason why I'm their #1 sales guy, because Kay went out of his way and he gave me a sales thing. I came back in the city. That's one of the only men who gave me a job.
Yeah.
Said, hey, here's a chance. Despite everything that,
well, and I think a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people forget that Kay hired you for the warehouses. Kay brought you in on that. A lot of people wouldn't think that he would, but he did because he values what you bring to the city, which is experience and an understanding of when to keep your fucking mouth shut and when to not talk to people. I still remember when my cousin was around back in the old city and he came up to you and called you out by name and you said, how the fuck do you know my name? And the next thing I know, I had a hit out for me. You know? I still remember that. You're a scary motherfucker when you want to be. And I respect that. Which is why I'm going to bring you in on something, Nino. So, what I didn't tell you about the crypto market and the G&E is that we are going to hold probably the biggest percentage of G&E very, very soon. We also are going to be the ones who are going to be able to control that market within the G&E until the tuner shop comes around. Now, granted, the tuner shop is probably going to hold their hand on it just because, again, they're selling the vehicles. They have the big dogs. They have the big ticket vehicles. But the one thing that my organization has that they don't have is secrecy. No one knows about what I have. Not even my own boys. The only ones who are brought in, now granted, it is Rami, Taco, and Chody, but they understand that this is something that it's not to be fucked around with. It's not something that we can just go around and start and talk about it and have conversations about it, because it is one mistake away from being gone. And Charles, of course, but I think that goes without being said. So I want to show you something, Nino. Jump in my car. Now again, like I told you before, this is something for you, only you, none of your boys. The only boy that I know that you are close with that I am waiting to bring in is Tony. And the only reason I haven't brought him in yet is because, again, I know Tony, I know who he is, and I know what values he has. And I also know that the moment I bring in Tony, Lang will know, Lang will tell his boy will tell his boys, then the nerds, and then next thing we know, it's all over the city. The only way and the only thing that makes this work is that there's only a select few of people who can use it. Because let's just say what is in what I'm about to show you might be, if in the wrong hands, the most powerful thing in the city, if everyone and their mother has control or has the ability to use it. The only way that this works is that if only a few people can have their hands in the pie.
I understand. I mean, I've seen a lot of things get destroyed in weeks.
Exactly.
Because of that very thing.
Exactly. And I understand the value of family, and I understand that because I am in one myself. And it's very hard for me to keep absolutely anything away from my boys because, again, the last thing I want them to think is that I'm trying to keep something from them, which isn't the fact. The fact of the matter is at the end of the day, if you're not a racer, you are not having even a conversation with me about being involved with what I'm about to show you. That's all I care about. The race scene is one of the few things in the city where everyone in any gang, no matter who you are, big or small, you have an ability or you have a choice to be able to be involved with it. It's one of the few things in the city that is like that, unlike pretty much anything else. So, with that being said, Nino, welcome to the underground racing scene, my friend.
What the fuck?
So, this is what I'm talking to you about whenever I told you about the app. This is where we house and store all of the illegal vehicles, but it's a lot bigger than that. Let me go ahead and show you a couple things. So, you might be thinking, of course, that, you know, we have a couple of vehicles here and there, and we might be, you know, somewhat large, somewhat small whenever it comes to A-plus vehicles. Well, let me go ahead and tell you that we have probably the most valuable A-plus cars right now on the market. We got the RS6, which is the best four-door that's currently being bought out, sold out on PDM. We have the, one moment. We got the Turismo RR, other known as the Batmobile. This is a one of two within the scratch scene.
Shit. This car.
Yeah, this is a very rare vehicle whenever it comes to A-plus scratches. A lot of people have never even seen this car in the city before.
I don't think I have. Yeah.
Another one that we have, this one we just got the other day. This is the Porsche, the Panorama Turbo. This is probably the second best four-door in the city at the moment. This is going to be one of the vehicles that I'll tell you about here in a second. And then we also have, on top of cars, we also have invested in the best bikes in the city. We got the R1, we got the Ninja, we got all kinds of vehicles, is what I'm basically trying to tell you. We got over a selection of around 20 vehicles at the moment. Now, the cool part about all this, let me turn this engine off. The cool part about all this, Nino, is this isn't a buy, sell, and rent shop. It isn't what you think it is, and a lot of people don't really know what we do here. So if you come over here with me, one of the things that we give any employee or anybody who works with us, I don't like to use the term employee, more of a partner, is that if you come over here, go ahead and third eye my vehicle. This is the first time in the city that Benny's is actually out of an actual Benny's. Go ahead and do a general repair on my car. So now, whenever you're racing, you're going to be able to come into the shop under the radar with no one being able to see you come here and repair your vehicle with a Benny's repair. So now, there's no longer you're going to be in a high-speed chase and having to go into the middle of the city to repair your vehicle. Which, again, now you understand why this is so close to the chest. Because the last thing I need is people to come in here and repair their vehicles whenever they want. And then this shop is going to be gone very, very soon.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Come on over here into my office. Now, you talk about G&E and you talk about controlling the G&E market. Well, a lot of people don't know this. You're probably one of 5 to 6 people who know this. The G&E market is about to change, and your phone is only going to be able to hold about 1,000 G&E on your device. And a lot of people's question is why is that, and how are we going to be able to hold our G&E? Go ahead and third eye my laptop right there. This company is going to be able to convert G&E through your phone onto a pocket-held USB drive. Go ahead and make a 10-stick. So that's what the stick is going to look like. Only myself and my partners are going to be able to make them, and we're going to be selling them through our app. So anyone who wants to have G&E on a stick is going to have to convert it through us. Now, you've obviously been part of a lot of different, hierarchy organizations. Well, this is going to be treated just like that. When people buy anything from the app, there's no names, nobody that they're purchasing from. So we're going to have to deliver these USB sticks kind of like we're delivering a shipment of cocaine. We're going to have to load it up into a four-door that's going to be a scratched vehicle, drive it to a location, and deliver the G&E, which is going to be worth, if someone converts over 1,000 G&E, it's going to be worth pretty close to about $500,000 within G&E whenever it comes to that point. Because there's people who have right now way over probably $500,000.
I have 3,200 right now.
Exactly.
And only just got into G&E.
Exactly. So we're going to have to be able to convert that G&E for high value people like yourself into it. And only now, as you saw, you could make it this time, but that laptop's going to be locked, and only myself and 2 other individuals are going to be able to make those USB drives and deliver those by giving it to people like yourself, which is why I'm bringing you in. So go ahead and take that 10 USB drive and third eye this vehicle. And do a, go ahead and make yourself one.
I tried using it earlier. That's fucking cool.
Now go ahead and repair degradation. So the really cool thing within this shop is that...
Repair degradation. Oh, well, now it's definitely degraded.
It's all good. So now what the really cool thing about the shop is, say that you're racing. Now you're going to be able to come here, no lines, no wait, and repair your car to 97%. So you're getting an Autos, Hayes, or a Harmony repair in the shop by yourself.
What?
With the 10 G&E. So no more going to any shop to get repairs after races and missing the next one because there was a big line and it took too long. Now you can guarantee that you make every single race that your heart wants to make it to.
Holy shit.
Now, on top of that, you've probably heard about the Chop Shop. And now this is where it gets really cool. All the stuff I've shown you to this point is playground bullshit. The next things I'm about to show you, Nino, is where it gets fucking serious. So if you go ahead and peek my car, at the very bottom, you're going to see something that says scratch or scrap scratched vehicle. So you're going to be able to take A's and scratch them, B's, C's, and D's. You're going to be able to scrap all those vehicles, and you're going to bring them here, and you're going to be able to scrap them. Now, after you scrap them, you're going to get something that looks about like this. Now, the value of this part is around $3,300, give or take, some depending on the vehicle that it was scrapped from and the overall value of that vehicle. Now,
oh my God!
What
Should
we're
I
gonna
have seen this?
Yeah. You can see that.
You saw about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So the cool thing about these parts that you're going to be able to scrap and make is that, say you have a car. You know what? I'll give you an example because this is going to be our first vehicle. This RS6 over here. Now, obviously, it's a really cool car, but it's currently sold out at PDM, and no one's going to be able to get their hands on it until they buy it from someone, and then that someone's going to upsell it by $400,000, want to make $200,000 off of a car just because it's rare. Fuck that. Now, if you bring me 4 A boost scratches, I can convert those into those parts right there. I can then get scrap from a company or titanium or steel, electronic stuff like that, refined. I can come up to this vehicle and I can research that vehicle and learn how to make it myself, learn how to put the engine together, learn how to kit the body kit. Then I can break that car down, put the parts from those A vehicles inside of it, and make it a legitimate car. Not a scratch, not an illegal car, a legitimate car with paperwork that's going to be sitting in your garage that you're going to be able to drive and treat it just like how you bought a car at PDM or bought a car at the tuner shop.
Shit.
So no more, there's the one of 4 from the fucking from PDM and it's rare, this, that, and the other. If you can get it scratched, I can get it. I can make you a legitimate vehicle. Now, it's super rare and it costs a lot of money. But, again, when cars are selling for $750,000, $800,000, and the difference between us and PDM is we don't sell them stock. We sell them fully upgraded, which brings more value.
Right. I mean, that's a full upgrade is anywhere from $150,000 to $250,000 or some shit.
Exactly.
So you would need to. So if you wanted to convert this, you would need
Hutch,
4
big freaking idiot.
additional ones of these cars.
No. So I'll give you an example. So say we want to convert that. We've already broke down a couple A boosts, but say we want to convert that vehicle right there. We would take vehicles like this or the stock value. So this is a Penumbra FF, but this is the upgraded version. We would need anything that is a vehicle, just in the A grade. So you know how you get A plus boosts and A boosts?
Gotcha. And it would need to be a boosted one that's got those pots in it.
So yes. So say it's a, how do I say this? It's an A grade vehicle, not an A plus. We don't need A pluses, but an A grade vehicle, the very stock value. 4 of any type of A grade vehicles will reach the amount of parts that we need to create that A plus vehicle. So we're breaking down A's and creating A pluses of any type of vehicle that we want. So no longer is it, I only need to scratch A pluses. You can scratch A's and still break those parts down and give them to us, and we'll give you money on top of your G&E value that you already done. For every A boost that you bring me and you put in this garage, I'm going to give you around $15,000 to $20,000. And that's very soon. The scratches are going to be a little different, and that could be $15,000 to $20,000 every 2-3 days, depending on whenever the scratches come through. So again, that's why we have everything here so close to the chest, is because people are going to be able to make a very, very pretty penny here. And on top of that, every time someone makes a G&E stick in the shop, or if they work for the shop or if they work out of the shop and they're getting it on the laptop, there's tax on those G&E sticks. That tax is converted into sticks, and then we get that tax because, again, this is all off the books. It's all underground. There is no legitimate paperwork. There is no legitimate anything. This is the first ever business that is 100% off the radar.
Okay. So, some things I want to throw out there.
Yeah.
In case they're not, been thought about yet, is have you, when boosting first started out, you had a bunch of fucking idiots going out boosting by themselves, bringing stolen vehicles, parking it next to with a boost. in other words, like completely exposing the scene, so much so that I dumped a bunch of bodies early on. Not because it was my scene. I mean, shit, I've only recently kind of dabbled in it. But
Just
it's kind
because
of like,
stupidity
that's just
needs
my
to be
take
dealt
on
with.
it. Needs to. Yeah, exactly. Because if they,
So let me, I'm
fucks
glad
every
you brought
criminal.
this up. I'm glad you brought this up. So people think whenever I show them these things that it's only the vehicles that they get. Well, the day of reckoning is now, Nino, and the day of stupidity is over. Because say you come to me and you say that this individual or that individual is fucking with the race scene, is fucking with their boosts, isn't wearing a mask, doing really, really dumb shit. And I'm not talking about small dumb shit. I'm talking about like this guy is being an absolute and utter fucking idiot. We've talked to him. He's still being a fucking moron. He's driving around scratch vehicles for no fucking reason. He's going with races. He's pitting people out of races. Tell me, say you bring me his car. Well, I can scrap that vehicle. So now, if people want to fuck around and be stupid and fuck with the race scene while also reaping the benefits of being in the race scene, and we get their car, I could take their car and I could break that shit down into parts, and they'll never see that fucking car again.
Holy fucking shit!
And I'm the only person, and this shop is the only place where that can be done.
So how? This is probably a loaded question. But the most difficult part when it comes to consequences is that everybody is connected and emotions run really deep.
Exactly. Well, and that's why, again, everyone within our scene, besides myself and you, are not affiliated or with any gang in the city. The only people...
So if it needs to be done, it gets
it
done.
can be done. Exactly.
And that's on them.
And that's one of the things
like
that
it.
I have taken very seriously, and that's why I was hesitant to bring you or Tony in, because again, it's one of those things where the more hands you have in the pile, the more people who are connected with this person, that person, and whatever. The only gang involved with this is myself with CG, which we have multiple CG people in, and then of course now you. Everyone else, I mean, we have every big racer in the city already have their hands in this. We have Goofy, we have AP, we have Orange, we have Charles, we have Mary, we have Eddie, we have Jay, we have all of the big racers who have basically the most G&E in the city. We probably hold now, with you joining us, probably over 70% of the overall G&E that is being held in pockets right now in the city. And on top of that, once people start converting their G&E into sticks, which they'll have to or they'll lose it, we're probably going to hold around 85 to 90% of all G&E.
Do you know, so that's very interesting. Do you know what's going to happen, like, if someone's got, like, 10,000 G&E?
So
going to be like a
you saw that we have sticks that go all the way up to 250, right? Once the app comes out, which I do not believe it came out this tsunami. I haven't even checked. Let me see. No. So once the app comes out, it's going to be on your laptop. So you're going to have a racing dongle and a laptop to be able to access it.
With the app?
Yeah, the app is going to be seen on the laptop. So you're going to be able to click on it. And the first thing you're going to see on that app is that all G&E needs to be converted by a certain date, and that it's going to be capped on the phone. And then that's where they're going to be able to see the sticks. So people are going to be able, or people are going to need to buy 250 sticks until they only have, or they should have less than 1,000 on their phone, because obviously they're going to keep racing. So they're going to need cushion to keep building their G&E that's not going to, you know, cap at 1,000. So they're going to convert. If you have, like, for example, you said you have 3,200. You're going to have to convert all that down to basically until you have like 200 on your phone. Now, it is incredibly easy. The cool thing about this is obviously right now there's no repercussions for ever holding G&E. You can't get caught with it, right, in your phone.
Right.
Now, granted, that's a little weird, and I don't like that very much, because, again, if you get rated for being an idiot, you should have some type of consequence for everything, right? So, say you have that G&E stick right there. You can go ahead and pick that up. And you get pulled over in a traffic stop, and that traffic stop converts into a chase. All you have to do is roll the window down, go into your pocket, and go ahead and use that G&E stick. It plugs straight into your phone. It dumps the G&E into your phone, and then it's gone. So the only way that people are going to get fucked is if they stockpile it, they get their shit rated, and they find a stockpile of their G&E drives.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
So the next thing that comes to mind, and the reason I brought up the fuckery with the boosting scene, is I personally witnessed not just where the cars were boosted, but the drop-offs. I witnessed an individual, for example, drop off a vehicle. We have a person standing on their car that's boosted saying, "Oh, I'm just waiting for my friend." I look at that and I'm like, I need to do something. Let's go get a gun. We go down the street. It was you know where the frozen factory is or whatever. You know that
I know
little
exactly
alleyway?
where that boost is.
It was that drop off. So we start leaving through the little bunker or whatever, and right there is a cop with a camera out. So they led the cops to this location.
Exactly.
And that wasn't the only individual. This is so much so that I remember doing a boost recently. We lost the cops. 5 minutes later, the cops are scouring known drop-offs, and it was super obvious because I know the majority of them.
That's a big problem. Me and the boys have also had to deal with that, where cops just go and sit on drop-offs.
Mm-hmm. Because someone's exposed it.
Yep.
My concern is there's no how Auto is right over there, right?
Yeah.
It's about it's like a block over.
Yeah, it's a rock throw away.
People like to use this area for shootouts.
Yep. I was just here the other day, and Ripley was doing dog training here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
the
how
only
are people gonna come in here and repair?
Whenever that's the thing. So the cool thing that we're gonna have happen is that right there is about those fences are gonna turn into walls, and they're gonna get raised about 20 feet.
Oh, good.
Also, no one who uses this is allowed to use the gate. You are not allowed to come off from the main street and use that gate. You have to come and leave through the hill that leads out by the buildings. Because again, like you said, this is a highway. This is a highly trafficked area, right? So people are going to go through that gate, get in chases. I mean, fuck, I've done that jump where you jump onto the highway. It's going to happen. Now, the cool part about that is that this is just another warehouse to anybody else. We don't have these cars just sitting out here on display.
Right.
This is just a warehouse.
Right.
And the cool thing about having you involved and having Kay involved is that y'all sell legal warehouses.
That's right.
So there's no
And
difference.
as I mentioned, I've got a little front with bisons that can be rented out and shit like that. So worst comes to worst,
Exactly. This is just another place for people to look at and say, "Oh, just another warehouse, no big deal." Now this can only ever be used while racing, leaving a race scene, or repairing your car to go racing. People can't just say, "Hey, you know what? I need to repair my car for the day. I'm gonna bring it here and then go and fuck around and drive around with my boys." If anyone is seen doing that, they lose their keys instantly. And I'm very strict on that, because the last thing I want is for people to go, "All right, we're going to go do a job. Let's just bring the car here and repair it." The number 2 biggest rule is, of course, going in and out of that gate. You cannot touch that gate. We're going to be putting a padlock on that gate too, so people can no longer just go through that during a job and then do the jump.
So you're going to have to come down from that way.
It's going to be a one-way entrance, one way in, one way out. And number 2, another cool thing, or another rule, I should say, it's not really a cool thing, but another rule is there is no +1s. You cannot bring anyone in here who doesn't have keys and doesn't already know about it. And I swear to God, if I get one person who calls me telling me that someone told him about me knowing or having a place, I'm going to find out who that is, and I'll fucking kill him. My boy or not. Doesn't matter. The only person who's off my list for fucking to kill is if they are labeled my family, and that is it. But if they're in the race scene and they're bringing +1s down here, I'll fucking kill them. Because that is a big, that's probably our biggest fucking thing, that you cannot come down here for some bullshit reason. And I don't care who you're bringing down here. If they don't already have keys, which anyone who has keys to this place, you can see on your fucking app. Once I hire you on, you'll be able to see everyone who has keys. So you'll know if they have keys or not. And there's no talking about it. You can't go to a race scene and talk about it and just make sure you're whispering. No. The only place to talk about this place is here and only here. And that is very, very, very strict. No over the phone conversations, no nothing. Which brings me to my next thing. So a really cool thing that we're going to have within the app is for people. Now, obviously, people sometimes stay around the city for 20, 23, 24 hours. I know that if none of my boys are around and I'm in next tsunami, now that I'm in racing, it's a little different. But before, I had no one to call for boosting. I had no one to hang out with. It was just kind of me grinding my boosts. Well, now there's a difference. Now you're going to be able to go to the app, it's going to be called the Silk Road, and you're going to be able to sign in as a driver or as a hacker under an alias that you're going to create that day. Now, obviously, people don't want to use somewhat of the same aliases so they kind of know who you are within the scene.
Yeah.
But even cooler is now for the first time ever in the city, and as someone who's, again, been involved with some hierarchy bullshit, you know the weight that texts hold within your phone.
Well, seeing as I've had investigators up my ass, absolutely.
Well, now we are going to have within the Silk Road a private PM system to where you can privately message someone, have a conversation, messages between the both of you, and the moment that one person exits out that conversation, the entire conversation is wiped. No traces, no tracks, gone. So now people are going to be able to not only join in the job queue, but say you have an A+ boost, you can privately message them, ask them what their experience is like, and be able to conversate about stuff. Or even bigger, you can conversate about car deals that are obviously VIN scratches, and you'll be able to ask them a couple of questions before delivering them a $200,000 vehicle. Because again, it just takes one cop to fuck it all up. Also, when people order anything, if it's a vehicle, if it's the USB drives, if it's anything on our site, no transactions are ever done here. This is only a storage place and a place for the people who work here to get benefits from the chopping and the boosting and anything like that. Everything else is done outside. So say someone orders a car, me and you are going to dress up in all black, disguise our voices, go to a location, say nothing, transfer them the vehicle or give them the keys to the vehicle, and when they want to return it, they're going to contact us on the Silk Road. We're going to go and get that vehicle, and then we're going to give them the G&E invested back, and then take our percentage off the top.
Oh, hell yeah.
So this is the only place this is a storage area. And everyone who has keys knows that, because we don't want anyone coming in here who shouldn't be in here. Because again, like you said, just takes one person to say one wrong thing to get a cop down here, and then everything's gone.
I'm already, like, even with some of the
What's your state ID, by the way? I'm going to go ahead and get you hired on.
It's 1180. For sake of transparency, with some of the people that are already within the circle, I have a little bit of hesitation. And namely, I'll give you an example. There's a racer that I ran into at the apartments.
Okay.
And remember the big race where it had, I think it was like $250,000 on the line.
Yep.
And well, I caught this guy asking me. I don't know this guy, never met him before, don't know his racing name, not in the race scene, but this is some low-key shit, right? You can't know that these things are being broadcasted out of the casino. Motherfucker asked me how he can go inside to watch the races. I told him $50,000. He gave it to me.
Who was it?
He goes by the name Rat.
He's not involved.
Okay.
Yeah, you
now
can
the
go
reason
ahead.
I bring that up, and he's since learned his lesson, because he kept calling me. His friends called me, said, "Why isn't he doing it?" Like, I'm not giving him the money. You could have completely fucked over Dean. You could have fucked over everybody in the racing scene. And even though I'm not involved, like, I care about the criminal underworld. You know what I mean? Like, people
and that's
can
why
ruin it in days. It can take, I mean, a new shit shows up somewhere. Next thing you know, people are openly talking about it at the apartments. That fucks me, fucks my friends, it fucks my partners.
Well, think of it like this. And again, how much money do you think that we have in vehicles here? Just a rough guesstimate.
Based on the rough numbers, I would think probably like, I don't know, 8 million.
So scratch value right now, we have about $5 million worth of cars. Unscratched value, we have about $12.5 million worth of vehicles in here.
Jesus.
Now that's if we were to do everything. Now, granted, that is the rough that is the rough value of the cars being sold above what the original sell is, plus the upgrades that we're going to be able to put in the vehicles. So with that being said, is the moment that a cop comes down here and they burn this place, if we can't get those vehicles out, we are going to press a button, we're going to blow this entire warehouse up, and we're just going to move. But we have to lose everything inside of it.
Understandable.
And that's the problem, is that just like any pop-up illegal shop, is at the moment that anyone who shouldn't have catches wind, everything's burned. Everything. And we lose everything. And the thing that's the incentive for our car shop people to not do that is that every single person who is on this list, other than about 4, has their vehicles here. Rami has his car here. Orange has 3 vehicles here. AP has 5 vehicles here. Goofy has 4 vehicles here. Everyone who has scratched vehicles, who they want to be able to make passive income off of, has their vehicles here, which is another cool thing. So say you're an A+ booster.
In the security of it.
So now, if they're invested, the one thing that people don't want to lose more than someone else's money is their own money. You know that better than anybody.
Not wrong.
So the cool thing about this garage is that say you were to get raided, obviously VIN scratches, they're on your phone, but they aren't. And if they are on your phone, cops shouldn't be able to see that. And if they do, that won't be lasting for too much longer. So if you have a VIN scratched vehicle, you can come here.
Do you have any room for my pony vans?
We have the biggest garage in the city. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can come here, you can bring your vehicles here, and they're untraceable. But if this place gets burned, obviously those cars burn with it. But you can store any car here, and just like you have keys now, so you can come over here, and you can look in the garage. If you want to go ahead and check out the vehicle list, and you can see all the vehicles that we have that are sitting in this garage.
Sorry about that, Hutch.
You're all good. The spot is about right here. Yeah, so you can see we have pretty much every single vehicle that is kind of sought after right now within the boosting scene.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So the way that we're going to do it is like I said, we'll chop those A's, B's, C's, and D class vehicles. We're going to bring them here. We're going to chop them. We're going to create them into parts. We're going to build vehicles like this, legal vehicles. Then we're going to sell them through autos for $750,000, $800,000. Then we'll take that cash, bring it back, pay our workers, pay the people who got the vehicles in the first place. On top of their G&E investment, we're going to give them straight, cold, hard cash. We're going to clean that cash through the casino because, again, as you can see now that you're hired, this is not only my baby, but it's Otto's, who obviously you know who Otto is. So we'll clean we'll clean that money through the casino within chips. You'll be able to go to the casino, get your money cleaned, and now you have cold hard cash that is untraceable.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So again, people are going to make, and it's a 60-40 split. So the overall value of that car that's sold, 60% of it goes to the people who put the work in, and the shop takes the 40%, converts that into G&E to be able to give to our workers to get more scratched vehicles. I've already invested of my own around 1,000 G&E to our boosters that don't have the amount of G&E they need to get an A+ scratch. So they call me, I give them G&E, and we split the cost of the vehicle. Now, I'm not looking for a return on that G&E. I'll make my money through the shop. So that's that G&E is just me investing in you as a person and as a racer. So that's where we're at right now. Now, with you having that much G&E, if you would want, and this is just me kind of going out there as of now, if you would want to invest in these vehicles also, then I can make sure I get you a percentage of the vehicle once it is sold legitimately. But it's not going to be one of those things where it's every single A+ VIN scratch that everyone already has. I don't want another Penumbra. I don't want a Dominator. I don't want those. I want vehicles that are actually going to be looked at, that people are going to want to buy, because again, S-classes are coming out. People are stopping buying A+ fucking 2-doors. Now, everyone wants to buy vehicles like this and vehicles like that. 4-door vehicles that not a lot of people see, that have a market value at PDM, and only a certain amount of them are in the city.
And that's totally understandable. Jesus fucking Christ.
Crazy, man. It's crazy. It's one of the most complex things in the city right now, and I
really
know
is.
that, and it's one of those things where I want to make sure that one idiot doesn't fuck it up for everybody, which is why I bring people in so slowly, and which is why, like I said, you can go ahead and check out the employment and look at who's on that employment list, and no one is on that employment list that is a loose end or that is a scary name to be on there. And the only one that I could take that is, and they're right back to back, is Fiona and Judd. But Fiona is Marlo's wife, so it's one of those things where he is one of the part owners, and I don't want to keep anything away from him. Loxley is our number guys, and you know that Loxley's fucking solid. And then Judd is Charles +1. But Judd, actually, not a lot of people know this. He's an A+ fucking booster. He's just up there with everyone else, and he's on his way to S. He's one of the most experienced A+ hackers in the city. He can hack pretty much everything, and he's fucking solid. There's a lot of things you can say about Judd, but that motherfucker is solid.
I haven't had any bad experiences with Judd. He usually gives me a heads up.
Exactly. He's one of the most reliable motherfuckers, and one thing I can tell you about Judd, and I'll never tell him to his face, is that if I need someone to go down for murder, Judd will step up and say, it was me any day of the week. No hesitation. So if we ever needed someone to burn, or if I ever needed someone to take the fall, I could give Judd a call and he'd do it in a heartbeat with no fucking questions asked. And that's why he's on there.
This is fucking incredible.
So, yeah, the app should be coming out. We thought it was going to be this tsunami. Maybe it's next, but it is going to be here in a couple of days. I mean, you heard whenever we had that conversation about this place, that was 4 days ago, and we got the shop the next day. So it's something that not only the city needs, but the city wants.
I fucking love it. Hutch, if there's any, at any point, any questions, concerns, I'm an open book, you know, just straight ask me.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with the last, listen, I came back about 4 weeks ago to $100,000 and a couple businesses to my name. I've since hit about 3,200 GNE and $1.3 million. That's aside from the assets. Earned people by my own transactions for my companies about $2 million. But a lot of people like to whisper things and talk behind your back, and they think that you are not listening. Oh, I am, and I'm judging.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, if there's an issue, just say it to my face. You know what I mean? And I'll do the same, because I feel like that's the kind of man you are.
And my thing is you know, as long as you've known me, and one thing that a lot of people, you can never say about me is I'm not loyal, and you can never say that I bite the hand that feeds me, because I never will and I never have. And you know that better than anybody. It's one of those things that once I give you my trust and you give me yours in return, I don't burn that. I never have and I never will. And it's going to take people to kill me to be able to get me out of what I'm doing. I've proved that time and time and time again. And this is that same thing where once
I feel like I know that.
I feel like you know that too. But once I bring people in on this, I expect the same in return. I'm bringing everyone who has their name on our job or has their name on our list. I'm giving them an opportunity to become bigger than, or to become as a person, something bigger than just waking up every day and being kind of clueless on what to do that day. This has not one, but 5 fucking things that you can come in here, you can do, but let alone you can do that is restricted to just you and a few other people. If you want to repair your car, if you want to chop vehicles privately, if you want to be able to sell a vehicle, if you want to be able to transport goods, if you want to, we're going to be able, our front for this is going to be a material business transporting materials out and in throughout this, outside of this building. Now, we're not going to be making any money on those materials, nor are we going to want to make any money. That is just the front. So if anyone ever asks out of your businesses, what is this business or what does this business do? We just transport materials and goods. That's all.
Is I imagine Otto's involved with that.
Yes, with Auto owning this, well, obviously Auto owns autos. That's the business that is going to be our cleaning. So again, we'll craft these cars, we'll build these cars from the ground up, and then we're going to sell them out of autos, and people aren't going to think twice about it because again, how long in this city have you bought a vehicle from PDM and everyone just says, oh, that vehicle got shipped into the city? We're going to say the same thing about autos. Little do they know, for the first time in the city's history, that a vehicle is being basically made in this city. It is being built from the ground up with principles and with actual materials, and we are selling vehicles out of there, and no one's going to be able to ask, well, where'd you get this vehicle from? Because again, we just shipped it in from overseas.
Holy shit.
And another cool thing is if you look in your app, or not your app, your map, and you go ahead and look right across the street, Pastels is the same thing, except that is going to be a document. Basically, if we ever need documents forged or made, that's going to be our place.
Otto did give me a bit of a tour. Place is very nice. Meal's a smart woman.
Yeah. So we have, if you look on the map, it's actually funny. We literally have a triangle of almost like a conveyor belt of cleaning vehicle or Pastel for paperwork, vehicle from here, clean money there, and it literally just goes in that triangle. It's a perfect triangle.
Jesus.
So it is a well-oiled system, and even the better part about this is it's all walking distance away from each other. We could walk right out that gate, go jump that fence right now, and be at the shop that's storing our legitimate vehicles. We could jump that wall, walk across the street, and we could get documentation for a vehicle without having to drive it over there. We could have them come over here and bring documentation for the vehicle without ever having to wonder, oh man, there's a chance of us getting seen in this car or people seeing us in the warehouse.
So, you know, once again, you know, to make sure there's transparency here, I have been mildly in the material game myself. So if there's any plays that are decided, prices you guys are aiming for, definitely keep me in the loop.
Absolutely. Which is beautiful because I have been somewhat informed that you were in the material game because again, our material hookups right now is just going around and wanting to buy materials. So having you around, we have one other person that also buys and sells materials, and we'll be able to always have that flow of materials, and you know, put money in your pocket too whenever we buy the materials from you.
Whenever Otto's around, I think we should talk about that very subject, especially if, well, I know Ottos have been starving for it, and I've been trying to supply them when I can, but nowhere near enough. How do I put this? Materials are really down bad right now. And I'm pretty sure I understand why. And a lot of it has to do with the,
I know,
the economic realities of the city.
I'm being
which
very
I don't think a lot of people
vague.
Understand.
I don't want to spoil.
You know, you got your
Vinny,
hands in a
you
bunch
know?
of things like I have.
So I'm being very vague right
and,
now.
And I think given our need, I guess, or like, you know, without them, the city doesn't work.
Yeah.
Getting a discussion going around that, I think, is going to be very important.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing we're going to need a lot of is going to be the materials and stuff like that. One thing that I forgot that I wanted to tell you is that I have the ability to repair certain items. So if it's involved within the racing scene, I can repair it up to about 80% of its value. So
at the carpet shop, yeah.
Say you, no, I'm talking about right over there. I got my own. I have a bench here.
Oh my God.
So if you have a hacking tool, you right, it's 200 G&E, and you bring it to me, I can go and repair it for $10,000.
Holy fucking shit.
If people don't have advanced lockpicks and there's a drought, which there usually is, you can bring me your advanced lockpick and I can repair that. It's the first ever repair bench.
Jesus
I don't craft
Christ.
anything, I repair. So anything that is something, now granted, that's something where I'm not going to be advertising that. I'm not going to be telling everyone that. It's literally just, hey, I need this, but the person who can get me this or the item that I need isn't around. Can you help? That is what I can do. But I can also do that within the race scene where it's like, hey, I need a hacking device. I don't want to spend $50,000. I'll bring it to Hutch, and he'll be able to repair mine that is already broken for 10 grand.
Right. I mean, for all they need to know, I mean, honestly, I don't even know if you want to tell people you got a repair bench.
I mean, it's in the shop. It's just like vehicles. It goes along the lines of repairing your car and repairing this. It's the same thing. I don't tell anybody. It's only the only people who are getting stuff repaired is people who work here for the shop. It's the same thing. The 3 things that you get for working for myself or for the shop is that you get the 10 G&E sticks. Obviously, for like every stick. So say you wanted to buy like 5 from me right now, it would be 55 G&E. And that's the set price that we've gotten from, you know, the gods. Like that has to be a thing.
Of course.
The Benny's here is completely free. You can come here, throw a Benny's repair on your vehicle whenever you want for completely free, no matter how fucked up your car is. And then the repair stuff, I'll do it at cost. So if you ever need something repaired, I'll repair it for you, and I'll just give you the cash value of the parts.
Jesus Christ. All right.
So again, I'm
that is
trying
incredible.
to make sure that everyone who is here, I'm taking care of to the best of my abilities. I'm paying them as much as I could possibly pay them while also keeping the shop afloat and being able to maintain and pay off the people we need to pay off to have a location like this being completely under the books. And you know, I don't have this shop. I wouldn't have been given this opportunity if people thought that I just wanted to become the richest person in the city, because that's just not me. I'm going to be pumping as much money as we get right back into the fucking business as long as the business can stay afloat. And that's just, again, that's just, you know, who I am.
You sound so much like me, Hutch. You know
That's
what?
why I brought you in.
What do you think the most expensive thing I've ever purchased was in the city?
Well, I can't say a car because you took that from Salim in a court case, so I'm not sure, to be honest. Probably something to make more money off of later. G&E, probably.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. Yeah. I think it's a tow truck. Yeah.
I bought one of those
Everything
myself.
else is reinvested in. You know what I mean? The fuck does money do you?
Nothing.
You know what I mean?
We know more than anybody that at some point in time, and that time is coming very soon, that money will hold no value. That will be a currency that holds value, which will probably be G&E for the rest of the time this city is around. But money at some point will hold no value anymore. And people will look for items like G&E. Back in the day, it was Oxy. Oxy had a higher cash value than fucking cash itself. Cars always hold value in this city more than anything else because they don't really ever depreciate. But money's money. Money comes and goes. That's all it is.
I've actually wanted to, at some point, transition other trades into G&E as well.
Yeah. The only problem with transitioning anything else into G&E is that G&E is a racer's crypto. Although this city has a way of creating and taking something that should be for one scene and making it for more. That was my biggest
it's like
gripe.
Crypto in general, right?
Yeah.
Is your opinion that G&E should remain racing exclusive?
Yes. The only reason for that is because the moment that G&E is out of the race scene and it can be made in other avenues, which I know of some business that I won't say just for their secrecy and I don't want to burn them, but they wanted to have their employees make G&E for doing what they do, which I said I do not want that, because again, the moment that people can make G&E other ways, it's not only going to depreciate the value of the G&E, but it's going to screw over the racers who have grinded so hard for it. Because again, if there's only one way to make it, and that's through races, and you don't race, then that means the racers are going to get paid for people wanting to buy it. So
The reason I bring it up is I got a call from the PM a couple weeks ago, and he almost seemed to suggest it's something he wanted, but then the conversation never really continued from there.
Yeah. The one thing I've recognized about the PM myself, working with him since like the fucking second week the city was around, is that the PM asks and requests a lot of things. I cut a man's head off for that man, but he only comes around once in every blue moon, and you don't really ever get a lot out of it. If that's
right.
Like,
There's
don't get me
not
wrong.
necessarily follow through.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. I respect him, and if he called me today and had a mission or a quest for me to do, I would do it. But in that same instance, I think he's a very busy man, and I have yet to have a conversation about anything that we're doing here at all. So it's very, I don't know. It's very different. I would like to talk to him, but again, as you know, you can't really contact him. He contacts you.
Not wrong.
So,
This is amazing, Hutch. I really appreciate you showing me this. I'm not gonna
absolutely.
forget that.
Absolutely. Let me put these vehicles to the side really quick. We can take out an emote only, mods.
It's almost been a year. Can I be
let's get outta
unbanned?
here.
I'm not sure how else to ask.
Ask my bots to ask my mods. They're the ones who do the unbans. Yeah, I know I need to eat, chat. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. But yeah, like I said, man, if you ever need to repair your car, if you ever want to rent another vehicle, now you understand what I was talking to you about, the whole renting some scratches. Every car in the garage is not owned by the garage. It's owned by the people who work here. So as long as you have their go-ahead, you can pull out any car that you want as long as they say it's all good. If you want to rent it from them, then you would just, until the app comes out, you contact me. I'd link you up with that person, and then they would give you a cost to rent the vehicle itself. There's AP right now. He's one of the people who work for us. AP, what's going on, brother?
Oh, what up, boss? How's it going?
Nothing much, man. About to start racing. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I think I'm going to get into some racing, too.
All right, perfect.
Just woke up.
Perfect. Well, then I will see you soon. I'm about to throw one up. I don't know if people are racing a lot today. I haven't seen a lot of people, so I'll start hosting them myself.
Okay. Yeah, do it.
All right,
I think a lot of people will join up.
Then.
All right, later, brother.
Peace.